All right, call hello, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Kakudash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of great millstone of well. I am not a member, however, I've entered into their labors. Peace and mercy to the sincere brothers and sisters, students, wherever you are, whatever your lot may be. I'm going to be doing a series of shorts. I probably under 10 minutes, but we're going to let this play. I can't take it off the screen because, Instagram will refresh. So we're going to let this play. And I want you to hear something in particular. The opening scripture will be after this plays, Wisdom of Solomon 2:11. But we'll read it from the top. But as you can see, this thing is going to escalate, and it may cool, but it ain't gonna cool the way in times past, how things have cooled down for, a number of months. Persia has issued their list of demands, right? And it's basically get out. All right, the nations have drunk up their wine, and they are tired of it. They don't want it anymore. They realize how detrimental it is of allowing the wine of Babylon, or the wine of Edom, right, the wine of those that were loose for a little season, right, to go out and deceive the nations. Okay, you let them in, and decay soon follows thereafter. And you can see it in every facet. Look at everything that these people touch. All of it, everything from a trend to a textbook, to a regular internet trend, to a textbook. They will find a way to pollute, pervert, until it is absolutely no longer true. So let's let this play, and then we'll get our scriptures, and then that will be it.
Listen, because an Iranian political analyst gives the real reason why the supreme leader of Iran was killed. Look.
The leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, he was martyred because he stayed at home. And he said, I'm not leaving my office and my home because many Iranians have nowhere to go, and so I cannot leave. And he chose to stay even though everyone knew that he would be a primary target. Unlike your leaders and the Epstein class in your country, which do all sorts of things to ordinary people, he stood with his people and he stayed with his people. And that's why he's so popular. And unlike the propaganda that we see on your show all the time with these insane pundits who've never been to Iran, who know nothing about Iran, who just repeat these Epstein class talking points, the Iranian people are steadfast and standing beside and behind the Islamic Republic. And as we speak, across Tehran, under missile fire, you see huge crowds of people in different parts of the city protesting against the United States and calling for the armed forces to resist. And might does not make right. As I learned from school, children know this. We are in the right. No matter how you try to frame it and pretend that we killed in Iran tens of thousands of people on the streets and all that fake media propaganda, the reality is the reason why Iran is hated is because we're against ethnic cleansing. We're against ethno-supremacism. Why don't you show the crowds that are 100 times larger in small cities than these crowds? Because you cannot do that. Because in order to remain on air, you have to pursue certain narratives. I think my country is under airstrikes from your criminal regime, your Epstein regime. My country, the people in my city are being slaughtered by your garbage regime. And you don't know.
Pay attention and listen,
Right,
because
so
an Iranian political
that.
analyst gives the
But
real.
he was saying might is right. Okay, and even children understand that is not, justice is justice. Okay, and it is up to those who are strong to stand by what is truly justice. But you have what goes on here, as he said, in its complete and total opposite. And in a worldly perspective, yes, they are right. And over here where we are at, I don't want to say we, but there where we happen to live, but do not partake in any, sentiment of this government, they are wrong. And then they'll just outright lie. He mentioned two key things that I wanted to get, and he said, might is right, that no longer works. And then he said, in order for them to stay on air, they have to, pretty much stick to the narrative that was created, all right, and they repeat it over and over, right? That's why you have the, 10/7 of 2023, right? They came out with a narrative, and they are still repeating it to this day. They are repeating that narrative as if it hasn't been disproven and debunked 144,000 times over. So let's read Wisdom of Solomon 2. I don't mean for this to be too long. I get into, get a little passionate, all right? All right, for the ungodly said reasoning with themselves, but not aright. Our life is short and tedious, in the death of a man there is no remedy. Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave, right? But, this is the thoughts of the ungodly, so we understand that, the body that your spirit left when you went into the dirt, you do not come back in that body, but you do come back. There is resurrection of life, okay? And that is what he is desperately seeking to do, because, what happened in Genesis, where it was always meant to go to Jacob, but even still, he gave it up and then tried to backdoor. That's what they do. They lie. They do sneaky, underhanded things, and then they try and cry war. They try and play the victim. No, no other race of people on this earth have perfected the victim and villain role at the same damn time. Anyway, we are born at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we have never been. For the breath of our nostrils is as smoke, and a little spark in the moving of our heart. All right, and I'm going to skip down just a little bit, okay? That's that YOLO spirit that they've pushed, especially via the music. All right, and our name shall be forgotten in time. This is verse 4. And no man shall have our works in remembrance, and our life shall pass away as the trace cloud, and shall be dispersed as a mist that is driven away with beams of the sun. All right, let me skip down just a little bit. All right, top of verse 5, it says, our time is a very shadow that passeth away. Come therefore. Okay, let's skip to 6. Come on, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present, and let us and let us speedily use the creature like as in our youth. Now we're going to skip a little bit more. The point is in 11. I just want to make sure I don't miss anything. Okay. So yeah, here's verse 7. Let us fill ourselves with costly wine and ointments, and let no flower of the spring pass us by. All right, not only costly wines, but, young, very prepubescent individuals as well. Okay, let us crown ourselves with rosebuds before they be withered. Okay, let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness. Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place. Okay, so we're going to skip to 10. Let us oppress the poor righteous man. Now, in this instance, we are talking about, Jacob. But if you go back to that video, in a worldly sense, basically just anyone that opposes them, people who have some sort of proper morality. And I can't lie, I do feel a little, not in a sense of autonomy, right? I spent a lot of time in the world of is not Islam, but Ishmael, in the world of Ishmael. But yeah, even to the point where I almost, leaned to the left, right? Whether coming out of one idol, one pale-faced, piss-flavored pork, white, you know who I'm talking about, JC. I went from one idol to, another idol just simply because he looked like me. I witnessed the discipline of Islam, and I almost did what bought through the spirit and power of how about Shemel Shai. But I said, I never went. But I say all that to say I feel back to my original points. I start to feel myself rambling again. I just need to read the scripture, and then, that'll be the video. But I'll just say this, that my jealousy stems from the level of autonomy. When they go through Ramadan, if you're over there, everything shuts down. All right, everybody's on the same accord. On the same accord. And say you got to shut down during the day, and then the shops open at night. People do whatever it is they need to do, and it kind of gives me just a little glimpse, a very pale glimpse of what the kingdom would be. You don't have to worry about what's in your food. You know where your food comes from. Everybody's on the same page. You don't have to worry about going off or trying to navigate things you need to do because that's your only day, even though it's the Sabbath. And I feel a little jealousy of that, just a little bit, because they are able to, you know, act sovereignly in that manner, right? And they're all on the same page when it comes to their culture and their religion. But anyway, back to my original point here. This is Wisdom of Solomon 2, verse 11. Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing of worth, or to be nothing worth. Therefore let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our time. He is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraideth us with our offending the law, and objecteth to our infamy the transgressings of our education. Now, another thing we can look at here is, as the heathen become bolder and bolder, because this devil has been exposed, right? The Lord said he would uncover his secret places, right? And it is. And these nations are speaking boldly. Most of them are very bold. And you would have not seen this, not even 10 years ago. You would have not seen this. You also would have not seen how sloppy, and these have always been unqualified, uneducated, mediocre, shiftless, no good. Basically everything that they try to put on us, they've always been that way, but it's just been able to hide it. But the Lord has lifted that, and down at their sea, it's just one giant shit show. And now there's a war that he started on behalf of his handlers, but he's sitting somewhere in the orange man, sitting somewhere talking to Jake Paul. Can't make it up, man. And as you can see, we circling the freaking drain. But anyway, I think the point is made. We really didn't need to go too far, because I think I would do a part 2. And there's a different video, or not only this one, there's a second half to this video, and there will be another one that I wanted to cover, but it'll come off the backs of this, especially since we didn't get into narrative control, which this is not something that we necessarily need to, but I want to piece these things together, so Abaratazat, there will be a part 2. If not, we would just move on to the next little short information presentation and edification. At least I pray that it was edifying, but as you can see, wide open, this devil is now an open book. He cannot be hid. And even more so, they are going to want to shut down this internet, and 2, because of the boldness of Iran, in the boldness of the Arab or Muslim or Islamic world, that is also what they're going to use to their advantage to link the true believers of Yahweh Shai, because we understand that this is a culture given to us, a heritage passed down. It is a Eastern culture. Okay, so they are going to do their damnedest. They already did in Austin a couple of weeks ago. They're going to do their damnedest to link the true believers and make you an offender for a word and turn you into a terrorist. Okay, and then they will repeat a narrative. It will be lies, but they will continuously repeat that narrative. You're going to see that as well. So we'll cover that in the next. But with that being said, I pray that you were edified. Shalom.